a urethane or a fiberglass, then they tend to have a longer shelf life. And that totally doesn't look phallic at all. Hey guys, welcome back to a brand new video here on the channel. Welcome back to another episode of Screen News Props, Where Are They Now? In honor of Alien Romulus releasing this week, I thought it'd be fun to check out some props from Ridley Scott's Alien and James Cameron's Aliens. If you usually watch the prop videos on this channel, a couple of days ago I did my first watches of Alien and Aliens for the very first time, full length in their entirety. Absolutely love them. In the lead up to Romulus, it obviously takes place between Alien and Aliens. So we've got some pieces from the prop store, some previous listings and some current active listings. One in particular, which you probably know about and I'm going to guess, is a big behemoth in terms of its scale and its price that it's expected to sell for. So sit back, relax, Xenomorphs, as we take a look at some screen used Alien and Aliens props. Xenomorphs. No idea. So now that I've seen Alien and Aliens, I have context for what I'm about to look at, particularly one piece that is so simple yet so iconic at the same time. It's crazy when prop masters, production designers create something for a film. Case in point, the glove from the first one, in this case the second Nightmare on Elm Street, but they used the glove from the first one in the second one. They just had to kit bash something together. Just something that was going to be a weapon for Fred. You know, some copper pipe, brass backplate, some stainless steel blades, and look how iconic that thing went on to be. And also the fact that it was up for $500,000, $1 million when it went under the hammer at the prop store. Ultimately, it didn't sell. So we got 12 listings and they range from xenomorph stuff to uniforms, to weapons, to miniatures. Miniatures sell for an absolute mozza. It's crazy, especially when it comes to Star Wars miniatures. But in this case, we got a big behemoth of a miniature that is currently at auction at the prop store. Now keep in mind, I'm not an expert with the Alien films. I've only seen Alien, Aliens, and Alien Romulus in their entirety, but I do really appreciate the design of the Xenomorphs. What H.R. Giger and the crew came up with, developed, fabricated, I think is quite intricate and interesting and horrifying at the same time. There's one piece in particular that would have been so cool to have in the collection if I was like cashed up. So our first cab off the rank is a piece from Aliens. This is a battle damage Xenomorph dummy. This Xenomorph body is constructed of latex and polyfoam painted dark blue and black and pinned with distressed rubber dressing around the collar. It comes suspended on a steel rig for stability with a replica black spines and added to complete the display. The body is extremely distressed to appear burnt and battle damaged with production made tears and cracking at the side. So let's check out some of these photos. So you can see it's got like an armature holding it up. But again, what I love about Giger's designs is the piping, the ribbing, all that type of stuff. It's quite intricate, it's quite interesting, and also sometimes sleek and sexy, if that makes sense. That probably sounds very weird. You see remnants of the foam kind of chunking out there. Let's zoom on in. Oh, hang on, is this going to zoom in? Oh, there we go. Yeah, look at that. So you see the raw exposed foam right there. And yeah, it's just interesting to see all the different shades, especially you can see blue highlights. And that's what I love, especially in Aliens, is the blue accents, especially on the Alien Queen. So there you go, there's a proper look at the steel armature that's holding it up. Now, do they have reference photos? Oh, that is sick. I do love the tails on the Xenos, especially when they've got the like knife edge at the very end. So is that it there from the film? Or have they just got random stills? I'm not too sure. I'm sure someone will know. That you can always rely on an expert to be like, it's exactly this one. So I hope someone can correct me on that. Next up, another piece from Aliens. This is the late, great Bill Paxton's Hudson Costume with his armor. Bill Paxton was such a highlight in that film. I love his range in that. He goes from like subdued to absolutely bombastic when he's carrying on that they're all gonna die. He was just such a good character actor, man. And to have his costume complete, even though it doesn't have a blaster or anything, again, is so damn cool to see. Let's zoom on in and take a look at the weathering on here. I love that. You got the addition of the skull and crossbones, just all little pieces that make their armor so unique. Actually, it looks in pretty good nick. Hang on. Let's read this description. So this sold for £175,000. Jeez, okay. Wait, hang on. Costume consists of a helmet, body armor, pair of greaves, camouflage shirt, pair of camouflage trousers, prototype webbing, pair of leather boots. I'm looking for the word replica. Okay, so no, it's got markings on the inside. Hudson #1, Bill Paxton, Bill, BP, also handwritten in different areas. The helmet is marked Hudson inside with Apone crossed out. Okay. The greaves are marked Paxton and L and R. The groin pad is marked Tipping. Okay, so there's no replica pieces. So I'm just surprised at how good nick it is. So if we cruise on over here, there you go. Bill Paxton, BP. It's where it's been crossed out from Apone, however you want to pronounce it. Okay, interesting. On the belt as well. I wonder if they just did like a mishmash. We have another piece from Aliens this time around. This is a light-up, remote-controlled, photo match, 1/12 scale APC model miniature. And that sold for £187,500. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. The base thing that was used for this, the base vehicle that was used for this, was a pushback tug for aeroplanes. I read that somewhere, and I used to work at the airport, and looking at this, I'm like, that looks like a pushback tug for, say, like a jumbo jet or an A380, which is cool, and it makes sense. Like, when they've decked it all out, it looks like a heavy-duty armored tank. And this is a miniature as well, so 1/12 scale. And it's an RC as well, which is so damn cool. Again, just looking at all the detail and stuff like this, where it be the paintwork, the detail, the distressing, even just like little chunks of dirt and mud in the tread of the tires. I love stuff like this, man. It's just every little piece tells a story, especially when it comes to miniatures. Like when we were looking at the Batman Returns and Batman 89 miniatures, stuff like that is just really damn impressive. Now let's zoom on in here. You can kind of see some cracking there and like some glue residue. That almost looks like wood grain, like it's made out of bits of balsa wood. Let's see what it's constructed from. The miniature's body comprises of vacuum plastic. Okay, so a vacuum plastic shell over a balsa wood chassis with a running gear taken from a radio controlled car. It was built as lightweight as possible. Okay, all right. So yeah, mixed media. Okay, you get to see the inside. Interesting. That is very cool. This is what I love seeing, all the guts and like the ugly side of props. Not the ugly side, but the stuff that you just never see that's like hidden by facades and capes and belts and velcros and stuff like that. Next up, another piece from Aliens. This is a lightweight Colonial Marine flamethrower. This current absentee, $12,500. Reserve not met. Lot must meet reserved to sell. I thought that said lol must meet reserved to sell. I'm like, all right, prop store, getting a bit cheeky. Feel like that would have sold for sure. It seems like, you know, such an iconic piece, unless it was not indeed screen matched. Cast from lightweight rigid foam for easy handling. This static weapon is based loosely on existing military hardware, consists of 2 M16 rifle casts spliced together. While the front section is based on an M203 grenade launcher with its handle and receiver sections evident at the center. Okay, so this is a stunt version. I'm assuming like the heavy duty ones, the hero ones, they would definitely sell for a lot more. But again, man, you definitely think that would sell. All right, here's the Big Kahuna. And I actually touched on this with the new listings that came out for the prop store. So the auction's happening right now, I believe. Like right before I jumped on to record this, the Jason Takes Manhattan hockey mask had recently sold. I'd have to double check what it sold for, but it sold for a pretty penny. So this is the miniature of the Nostromo 11-foot principal filming model. This is the Big Kahuna. This is beyond iconic, guys. So the estimate is 250 to 500,000 USD. That's close to $1 million here in Australia, which is insane. But again, like the Batwing, just so fucking iconic. So bidding for this lot will end on Thursday, August 15th. Well, that's now, because it's Friday the 16th. Shit, man. What is this gonna sell for? The Nostromo model is constructed primarily of wood paneling and hand-carved wood forms assembled around a robust steel frame and clad with plastic surface panels and detailing from various pieces from off-the-shelf model kits. I love that. It's the Star Wars approach where they're just getting ready-made model kits, pre-existing model kits, and just kit bashing everything together. Like most times they would use stuff from tank model kits and truck model kits and stuff like that, the paneling, and just use it for paneling on something that would eventually become a futuristic spaceship. Let's check out these photos here. I know we have before with the previous video, but let's just zoom on in and take a look at this detail. Again, like all this just would have taken so long. Like that looks like a pre-existing model piece, that does too. It's just insane. And what they've built is just, again, for Alien fans, the ruby slippers when it comes to a prop. Next to like a Xenomorph, of course. Like, can you imagine trying to fucking display this thing? Like, I'd have to buy a separate apartment just to display it. Okay, another piece from Aliens. This is lot number 17, the Bug Stomper / Smartass dropship model miniature, sold for 125,000 pounds. Again, when it comes to miniatures, man, I love looking at all the nitty gritty details, the paintwork, everything that's just gone into it, that's captured on film, and yet at the same time it just looks so realistic. Again, just like all the little subtle bits of chipping with the paint, the soot marks on the O1 there, front pod elevates, like all the little decals on there, just stuff like that. Nice close up there. Oh, we've got a little miniature in there. Look at him. You see some flaking off there. So let's see what they've indeed matched it to. If we just go on over, man, they've got a lot of turnarounds of this piece. Okay, there we go. There she is. They got 2 screenshots. Okay, I'm assuming this one comprises of mixed media. This model is primarily made of fiberglass over a metal skeleton with resin and styrene detailing. Okay, cool. So fiberglass predominantly. That explains like the cracking effect at the nose of the piece. Next up, we have a face hugger from Aliens. Now, Adam Savage actually recently covered this on his Tested channel when he visits the prop store, and he's currently checking out all the latest offerings with the auction. I think he just, as a few hours ago, put up the Slimer puppet from Ghostbusters, which is cool. And it's interesting to see how they've subtly changed the face hugger from Alien to Aliens. They still scare the absolute shit out of me. I have a phobia of crabs and lobsters. Not a lot of people know this, but yes, I have a proper phobia of crabs and lobsters. And these guys fit the bill for my phobia as well. It's insane. And just also the fact that they just look very suggestive, and I'm not okay with that. So this face hugger is cast from foam latex with a wire running through the tail for positioning. Features breathing flaps on the underbelly. Ugh, it's so freaky. 8 latex skin legs modeled around internal metal skeleton. Okay, there you go. They show the underside of this guy or girl. Oh, yep, there you go. Zoom on in. You see raw bits of the foam latex there starting to crack away and chip away. Again, it's just such a freaky looking design, and just it gives you that sense of the heebie-jeebies. It's like that phobia of holes in the skin. I don't know if anyone else gets that, and people like Photoshop holes in people's skin and stuff like that, and it just makes me so uncomfortable, but effective at the same time. Now, this piece is currently under the hammer as well, so estimate is 10,000 to 20,000. I reckon it'll sell for more than that. It's a face hugger, for Christ's sake. This is my favorite piece in what we're looking at. This is from Aliens. This is the Xenomorph Queen model miniature puppet created by Stan Winston Studios. This sold for 106,000 USD, rightfully so. What I love about the design of the Queen is the extra plating, but also the blue highlights, the blue tones, the way the color on the Queen shifts throughout the film. I love just details like that. I think it's a nice little touch too. Like, obviously there was a lot more earthy, muddier tones on the original Xenomorph from the first film, but just the addition of blue highlights, I think, is a very almost classy touch, I guess you could say. But also the fact that this is made by Stan Winston, like, what a piece to have. And it's got the cable there as well. So let's check out the description. Piece is mounted to a wooden display base, conceived by Cameron and constructed in foam latex, polyfoam, urethane, and resin components, all molded around a custom-made mechanical metal armature and painted black with the Queen's signature blue highlights by Stan Winston Studios. Man, this thing is huge. Dimensions, so 101 centimeters by 71 centimeters by 84 centimeters. Again, this is my favorite in what we're looking at today. I'm obsessed with the design of the Queen. Next up, we have Sergeant Apone's Scream Match US CM armor. I love his character, especially when he wakes up from sleep at the beginning, and the first thing he does is put a cigar in his mouth. I think that was just a nice little touch. Now, this sold for 87,500 pounds. Again, that's a big chunk of change, but also, like, when it's mostly complete, then that makes total sense. And I just can't believe how in good nick these costumes are, considering how old they are, and you know, the distressing and all that. It's definitely there, but like that looks like a replica to me. That's why when we were looking at Bill Paxton's uniform and armor, I checked to make sure that like no pieces were replicas, but let's check out the description here. Okay, with replica kneecaps created by English. Designed by, okay, so armor pieces were done by Terry English, who did Arnie's Mr. Freeze armor. So replica kneecaps created by Terry English, an original pair of USCM pants, and a pair of replica boots. Okay. That makes sense. So there are pieces that look a little too new. The helmet is a replica also created by English after production and labeled Frost. Additionally, the grenade straps on the front are replicas. Okay, so a couple of replica pieces here. That does make sense. Again, they do look a little bit new in certain areas. This is the piece I was talking about where it's so simple yet goes on to be so bloody iconic. And it's Brett's hat from the first film. And it's sold for £81,250. This I equate to something like Indiana Jones's fedora. Even though the character of Brett didn't go on to have a whole film franchise, I still think he was a great character in the first film. But fucking hell, man, £81,000 for a hat. I mean, it did have a lot of screen time, and it was part of a very memorable sequence in the first Aliens film. Like, look at all the weathering and the distressing on it. Can we see the inside? Does it have a label on the inside of what brand it is? The cap has wear from use and age, most notably some staining and faded colors all over. One half of the plastic closure at the back is a replacement. Okay. The stitching around the cap has faded over time, changing it from blue to white. It's presented on a padded display stand. So they have gone in and replaced the actual fastening piece at the back. So let's cruise on down here. Okay, yeah, you can see the shifting colors there. Interesting. Next up, we have Vasquez's Scream Match lightweight M41A Pulse rifle. Again, like another stunning, iconic piece. This is foam, I believe. It's sold for $106,250 USD. This lightweight Pulse rifle was originally sold by Prop Store in the 1990s. Okay, so it's come back around for auction. Interesting. Like, she's got some wear and tear, but still looks so damn good. And like, just that extra bit of weathering always helps. You see remnants of the exposed foam there. Okay, that's where they've Scream matched it with those dings. Yeah, that all checks out. Yeah, nice. All right, we're honing in on our second last piece from Alien, HR Giga Design Special Effects Mechanical Alien Head, sold for £62,500, and it's got the exposed skull here. I love this look when it has the exposed skull. There's just something so demonic about it. This head was constructed for the production by David Watling, who also previously worked on the mechanical R2-D2 unit on Star Wars. Although Carlo Rambaldi was commissioned to make 3 mechanical alien heads, he was busy working on another film at the time, so Watling was asked to construct a backup in case Rambaldi's were delayed or below par. Okay, so this was production made, not screen used, which makes sense. You'd probably double the price if it was indeed screen used and screen matched, but again, man, like, there's something about the exposed skull that just gives me the heebie-jeebies, and I love the teeth as well. Just the chrome teeth, and obviously when you get to Aliens, the Queen has glass-like teeth, like translucent, sharp glass teeth that look like diamonds that would just fucking cut through anything. See bits of wire there, so I'm assuming there was a rubber piece that was over there that would cup around the wire, and then that would kind of expose the teeth as like a snarl. That's my guess. We've got the tongue there. I don't know what there is a proper name for it. The little tongue with teeth. The little mini Xeno. Classic Giga with his ribbed piping. It's just so industrial yet organic and just horrifying at the same time, but it looks so badass. It's so metal. That's the word for it. And our final piece in today's video is from Aliens. This is a Xenomorph Warrior Head. I do like the different design shift with the Xenos when it comes to Aliens. They're a lot more sleeker and sharper and hard-edged, if that makes sense. The creature design for Aliens was a simplified version of the original 1979 design, allowing for maximum mobility, given the given the hordes of xenomorphs that needed to move along walls, across ceilings. That is very true. I feel like the xenomorphs in Aliens move a lot more natural and fluid as opposed to the first film. But obviously, like, it's the first of its kind with the first Xenomorph costume. They got to figure out all the bugs, all the kinks and stuff like that to work out and see what works and what doesn't work for the next film. Made from black urethane foam, the head is hand painted with contrasting dark hues to create an organic insectoid look. Its even texture is the result of sponge painting. I love how it goes from like matte to super glossy on top, just slimy, disgusting. That is a beautiful piece right there and in quite good nick, I must say. I think when you have pieces that are cast in like a urethane or a fiberglass, then they tend to have a longer shelf life, and that totally doesn't look phallic at all. More like Pinomorph. So this thing dimensions 92 centimeters by 21 centimeters by 40 centimeters. So that is still a pretty hefty piece. So from what I'm reading here, it wasn't screen used, but production made. That probably explains why it's in such good nick. But yeah, 37,500 pounds for that one. And there you go, guys. Those were some screen used props from Alien and Aliens. Definitely my favorite is the Alien Queen miniature maquette from Stan Winston Studios. There's just something so badass about the design and the blue hues as well. And the fact that Stan Winston made it, just anything him and his crew touched was just pure gold. With that being said, guys, drop a comment below and let me know your favorite Alien or Aliens, or can be Alien Resurrection, AVP, AVP2, Prometheus, Alien Covenant, Alien Romulus. What is your favorite plot? What is one piece that stood out to you? It can be the most minute piece, but there is always something that stands out to someone and it's just like, I love that and I want that. Love you guts, and I'll catch you in the next one.